Hey guys, Max 2015, and right here you're looking at my 6 eye statues boosted, basking in their mighty glory. I was just playing tonight and I wanted to share some of these replays with you because I don't know why. I don't know if I'm getting really lucky or I'm just on fire tonight, but I am doing really well as far as my raids go. I do have troops training. I have TGRM going because I want to try this base here in a little bit. But no, look at my attack log. Look how few, the little number of attacks that I've had so far. So this base, it only took me 1 try. And then this base, yeah, this one, I deployed troops, but I kind of just retreated. And here I did lose 1 try, but I got him on the 3rd try only. And then look at that, CHN got him on 1 try. This base got on 1 try. The next one, BBU, got on 1 try. This one on 1 try. A4 at VN, this one I did lose 1, and then it was just gunboat energy, deployed and then retreated, and then got him on the next try, so 2 tries basically. I mean, I am doing just really well. I don't know why. Some of these bases were really easy, some were not so easy, but I'll show those to you guys. So the first one was relatively easy, only 3 eye statues, all 3 of them boosted, center layout, double shield, and you guys probably know what's going to happen here. So put down all the troops, rifles in the front, tanks behind, put down all the gunboat energy on the shot launcher and boom cannon in the middle there, finish those off as soon as I had gathered enough gunboat energy, and then just let the tanks advance. We can probably go 2 times the speed here because, you know, tanks just take forever even if you're just watching the replay. So let my troops spread out, put some critters on the top there to distract the shot launcher, which it did beautifully. The little cannon was kind of positioned pretty out of range there, so I just went ahead, shocked it, and then moved back the troops, take down the shield along with a few of those economy buildings so I could get a little bit more gunboat energy. Because this base only had 3 eye statues, I really wasn't worried at all. It was just kind of easy. So throw a shock on the boom cannons, let my troops just naturally, I mean, they were just taking down the buildings very quickly because they had no health. They only had 2 little eye statues boosted on there, which was really nothing. At least nowadays that feels like nothing. So had enough gunboat energy to throw more critters at the end there to distract the boom cannon because I didn't have any more for shocks, and then flare straight to it. And once they clear out all the defenses, we move them back away from the range of that sniper tower down here, and then just kind of let them finish off the shield and the HQ. And I had a pretty good amount of time left after that. It was probably like 15 or 20 seconds after that. So really nice first attack of the night, and then smoke at the end to rub it in, and then we moved on. That was Bile Rose, and then Aqua's base. This is not the first time he spawned on our map. I think this is like the 3rd or 4th time. I took him down 1 time, and then I think I skipped him, and then he spawned again. He had 7 eye statues. They're all hidden behind those trees. Only the masterpieces were boosted, so you know, not so easy of a base, but still. Put down the troops on the right side. That was a little bit unconventional. I wanted to take down the sniper towers in the front just so I could gather a little bit of gunboat energy first, and then I flared to the left side to start taking down the other buildings. Right about there, let's see, maybe we can go 2 times the speed again because tanks are so slow. And actually I think I used tanks all night today. Yeah, critters to trigger those 2 boom mines up there. Let my troops just move into the base. The rifles were lasting a really long time. I shocked that 1 boom cannon on the front right, front left, I guess, depending on what you're looking at. And then we flare right against the wall. Throw some critters behind the cannon because I needed to get that thing distracted. They were right at the blind spot of the shot launcher, the rocket launcher, sorry. So that worked out well. My troops finished off the cannon. Then we flare again against the wall. Take down as many economy buildings as possible, get all the good gunboat energy, shock the boom cannon, of course, because we're getting close to it. Did we shock again? Yes, there it is. Just let the troops naturally go, and then, whoops, flare and shock to the last boom cannon. And then after that, we just spread out, finish off the 2 mortars, the flamethrower, and the last rocket launcher. Well, the 2nd rocket launcher, sorry. And then we would flare back again because, again, this 1 sniper tower kind of got one of my tanks there. So here we can go 4 times the speed, and we just took down that base really nicely. Wore down the shield, 7 eye statues, only the masterpieces boosted though, but still, 7 eye statues nonetheless. And then a little smoke on the HQ at the end. Moving on. So that was Aqua. Now we're gonna go to CHN Siuga Tonghai. Again, former number 1. This is probably like the 5th time I take him down. 7 ice statues, no boost. I think he just quit playing. His base is just sitting there, but he's still spawning. So same thing. We can go 2 times the speed. Exactly the same. This is just like a rinse and repeat, and that's pretty much what happens when you're doing VP push. Eventually, the bases that you're facing, they're pretty much all about the same. They all have the same layout because they're all pushing bases. So you kind of see the same attack strategy. The only thing that changes are minor placement of some of these buildings and then the ice statues. But at this point, I still had all of my tanks. I had every single one of it. I don't think I had lost any, maybe just 1 at most. I did lose 1 medic to that boom cannon, but with the sheer amount of medics, of tanks, sorry, I wasn't even worried. My tanks were just moving in like a battering ram, just taking down everything along its way. Just shock around whatever I needed to shock, flare to that boom cannon in the middle, and then shock, flare again, shock 1 more time, and then just let the troops spread out. I mean, even if you have 7 or 10 ice statues, if they're not boosted, even if the masterpieces alone are not boosted, it's just so easy to take down. If the 2 masterpieces out of the 7 were boosted, then it would change the entire game. But you know, that's how things are, and he doesn't have any boost, so I just take advantage of it. So that was CHN Siuga Tonghai's base. After that, we took down Corner Office, which is just an NPC, and then Seth 2. I think you said that's how you pronounce it, Seth 2. This was an unconventional base. He had 5 ice statues. Was it 5? Or maybe just 4. And it looks like just 4 ice statues, but no boost. I mean, super easy bases tonight. I don't know how. So ordinarily, for this kind of layout, I wouldn't even use TRM, but since I had them loaded up and all the other bases were online, I was like, I just have to go ahead and use it. So since he didn't have boost, I thought I could beat him, and in fact I did. So just put down all the troops and really just take down the shock blaster and 1 boom cannon in the back with all my GBE. The rest of it was just taken care of by the tanks, the rifles, and just throwing critters strategically to try to, you know, distract the big shooters like the boom cannons. After that, I think I already lost all of my rifles. He did have a crap ton of mine in the front there, but right there I was starting to get a little bit worried because the... Oh no, yeah, it's 5 ice statues. 4 ice statues, sorry, I just get confused. Once the shock launcher started coming into play, that's when I started throwing shocks around. So 1 shock on the right side, and in a second you'll see a shock on the left side. And I just needed to get rid of those boom cannons. Those were my biggest concern. A lot of my tanks were kind of red, and in fact I did lose a few tanks just because I really went into this base with no attack strategy. I just like a gun-ho, guns blazing, head first, and you know, as long as they got the job done. Right now I had nothing to stop that 1 boom cannon on the right side, but except for the sheer number of tanks that I had. So throw an artillery and a smoke to protect some of those tanks. But yeah, I knew I was going to take down the base, it's just I didn't know how many casualties I was going to sustain. But it didn't matter, he went down anyway. So that was Seth 2. Now, next base, whatever his name, Bew at the end. This was a bit of a tougher base. 5 ice statues, all 5 of them boosted. Corner layout with a laser beam. So this one, I was a little bit nervous, but to my surprise, it came down in 1 try only. So this one we can probably watch in real time. So I just put down the tanks in front of the sniper towers and the flamethrower to get a little bit of extra gunboat energy. Put down 1 barrage and 2 artilleries, and the boom cannon and shot launcher in the front there. And I needed to get more gunboat energy. So at every point that I get enough for an artillery, I would just throw it on there. Keep in mind this base had a lot of boost. So 5 ice statues is quite a lot. So try to get a little bit more gunboat energy from those economy buildings, and then started flaring to the left side. There goes the 4th artillery, I think, for that shot launcher. Took him down there. The sniper towers are a little bit annoying when they're free shooting at the tanks, but nothing I could do. I had no gunboat for anything at all, so I just had to, you know, let my tanks move slowly and then gather up in the end. But I did lose 1 tank at this point. Notice I still haven't put down the rifles though. Let's see. Yes, maybe we can go a little bit quicker. Right there, 1 shock on that cannon because I didn't want it to start shooting at me. The rifles are coming into play because there were too many cannons and boom cannons up there and sniper towers, so too many single shooters, so I needed the help from the rifles. And I just let my tanks eat away at the base. A little reflare. I wasn't too happy with that flare because, you know, the tanks were shooting, but thank God those riflemen just got there on time. Had to shock the boom cannon because my rifles, to my surprise, did not last a long time, so I just had to keep shocking that one boom cannon. And then stepped on that shot mine, which did not help. But anyways, nothing much you could do. Most of my tanks were kind of red. Not too confident at this time, but we were so deep into the base that we just had to try, even if I lost everything towards the end. So critters to distract the boom cannon. I don't think I was trying to save shocks for that shock launcher at the end there. So there goes the shock. Thank God my tanks were able to take down that one boom cannon in the front because he was free shooting. Lucky for me, this one boom cannon was always out of range. I kind of pre-scouted it, and I knew that if I parked my tanks on the upper right side there, they were going to be out of range. So let's slow down a little bit just so you can see. And someone told me that you can actually check the range of the defenses during replay, which is great. So now you can see why that boom cannon never shot us. But yeah, five ice statues, 5 boosted, came down just like that in one try. So I was super glad it didn't become an obsessively difficult base. Now next base, something 97. I don't know what that means. This was a very easy base. Only 2 ice statues. They were both boosted though. They were hiding somewhere behind the trees, but you can see the 8 offensive statues. So he did have 2 ice. Again, not a base I would typically go in with TRM, but since he had so little ice, I was like, why not? Just let's try it. So I dumped all my gunboat energy on that shock blaster and one of the boom cannons behind it. Put down the rifles and the tanks behind so they were absorbing all the shocks. The shot launchers were really annoying though, especially when there's 2 of them shooting at you. So I just had to keep on throwing critters and shocks to kind of slow them down as much as possible. The cannons I wasn't too concerned because I still have rifles left, but it was the shot launchers that were kind of making me a little nervous. And look how wide my trips are already spread. And I was a little concerned though, I'm not gonna lie. Especially with those 2 boom cannons in the front and that 1 boom cannon on the left side, like free shooting. And I remember at this point when I did that reflare right there, I hadn't taken into consideration there were 2 cannons up there. 2 big ass cannons shooting at my tanks. And you see, I think I ended up beating this base, but I only had like 5 tanks left at the very end, and you'll see it. The only good thing is that there were a lot of good economy buildings, so I was able to get more and more gunboat energy, but there were still 3 boosted rocket launchers shooting at me, so I wasn't too sure. I did throw a pack of critters next to that cannon and then flare straight to it, try to take that out of commission. I remember specifically playing at this very point when I thought I'm not going to beat it, but I'm just going to keep on trying and see how far I can get. But I really thought I was going to lose the raid. And I was kind of making decisions on the fly. I wasn't too sure what I wanted to do. So I was like, oh, let's just flare to that rocket launcher, see what happens. The boom cannon turned, it took down 2 of my tanks. So, you know, even less confidence at this point. So there were still 2 rocket launchers shooting at me. I got enough gunboat energy for 1 shock, so I was like, I'll just flare straight to that boom cannon, shock it, and then see what happens. So the tanks actually got there. They also took down the flamethrower, and I got enough gunboat energy again for a medkit. Then after that, they'll just go straight for that 1 rocket launcher. Maybe we can go 2 times the speed. And then we moved back. And it was at this point when I thought, well, even if the rocket launcher doesn't finish my troops off, I'm going to lose because of time, because I didn't have a lot of time left. And I think I beat this base with just around 9 seconds left. So it really did come down to the wire. But I was lucky that the rocket launcher kind of focused on those medics in there. So they were kind of just healing. And then I think I had enough for a smoke. Yeah, there goes the smoke, just to let the medics heal back a little bit. And then, you know, my tanks, actually 5 tanks I had left in there, were able to take down the entire shield and the HQ in about 1 minute and 20 seconds left. But that's also thanks to the fact that he only had 2 little ice statues there, so not a lot. This A4 at VN was the toughest base of the night, and this is probably the reason why I wanted to share it. It has 6 ice statues, all 6 of them boosted, and it only took me 2 tries to beat him. So super happy about that. Again, same kind of attack strategy, but like I've said in previous videos, when people have the 4 boom cannons laid out in that kind of pattern around the HQ like that, this one in here, it's just so far behind from the HQ that it just leaves me an opportunity to snipe at the HQ without having to deal with it. So that makes it much easier for me. You'll see it in a second. Just let the troops kind of move in, take down all these little buildings. Thank God these 3 cannons were all the way on the right side there, so none of my tanks got exposed. So I had a huge amount of tanks at that point still, so I didn't have to worry about it. All there were in the front were flamethrowers and little machine guns, which really, they do nothing to tanks. So once I got enough, threw a shock, flare straight to that boom cannon because I wanted to take that out first, throw a smoke to protect those tanks on the left side, on the right side, I'm sorry, and then flare to the left side, right against the wall. I'm just gonna have to eat that one boom mine, which, you know, doesn't matter. I still had a pretty good amount of tanks, even though they were all like kind of half the length of their health. I still had a lot of tanks left, and then just, you know, flared straight to that cannon. I had a lot of numbers, so I was hoping that I would only lose just 1 tank, hopefully, and then let them take down some more buildings. I was trying to save my shocks, that's why I didn't shock that 1 cannon, because once I get to those boom cannons, it was going to be really dangerous. Right there, the boom cannon turned. They have so much range. So I lost 2 tanks to that 1 boom cannon before I finally decided to shock. I wasn't planning on doing it so early, but I had no choice because I couldn't lose any more tanks. So after that, once the shock was starting to run out, I threw a second shock. Where is it? Oof. Oh no, critters. Oh, okay, so I guess I didn't have enough for a shock, so I just threw critters. But yeah, I was then relying on the sheer number of tanks that I had to get this done. Then flare to the bottom left there. Here we can go a little bit quicker because we're almost done here. And then there was only the 1 rocket launcher and the mortars that were still within range, but my tanks had a pretty good amount of health left. And then from then on, we can go 4 times the speed and they'll just wear down the entire HQ. I did throw a med kit, and yeah, that's all she wrote. That 1 boom cannon, you guys can see, it's just sitting there, completely useless, as long as I can part my tanks out of its range. So look, they were just out of that range. It's actually a nice feature that you can check the range there. But yeah, guys, you can see the 6 blue ice statues just flashing in there. So, you know, tonight has been a really good night. I was at 1570 and a kill is just spawned on my map. So alright, I'm actually really happy so far tonight. If I can take down any more of these bases for the rest of the night, I'm still happy. My victory points are still going up. I'm up to 26 in the global leaderboard. I could get to 25 if I can take 2 more bases down. So let's see if we can get lucky tonight. Alright guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed all these tank replays. I just realized every single attack was done with TRM, so not very usual, but you know, pretty cool nonetheless, and hopefully you guys like those. Okay, until then guys, I'll see you guys next time. Keep on booming. I'm Max 2015, and I'll see you in the next push. Bye.